Hey folks, welcome to the Universal Order Show, episode 8, where we get to meet a hunter in our guild. Or at least, that is just one of his many faces. He plays quite a few characters, and we'll try to get to each of them in turn. It is June 7th, 2021, and I really hope that you'll enjoy the time meeting our guest. And also all the shade that we're going to be throwing at someone who could not be bothered to join in.
All the shade.
Oh man. So, I hope you enjoy the ride, folks. Please welcome my guest, Damascus. How are you, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. You?
All right, man. I'm doing good. I appreciate your time. Thank you for agreeing to do this. And welcome to the show.
It's an honor.
So I was hoping it would be a repeat of episode 2 where we had a very lovely couple, the amazing and adorable Animaker and Kalamidad, shout out to them. And I was really hoping that we could get your girlfriend on here, who's a major Twitch streamer, but unfortunately her schedule was just too busy for us.
Mhm. She couldn't fit us in her BlackBerry.
Well, we love her, and we'll fire some more shots later. But for now, we're here to talk about you. So, as always, we start at the beginning. So, Damascus, where does the name come from?
I started like in BC. I don't remember exactly when, maybe towards the end. And I remember I was playing the first Assassin's Creed when it came out, if you can remember that far back. And there was a mission on there, the road to Damascus, which is also some kind of story in the Bible. But I don't know. I always thought the name Damascus was cool, and so I tried to do it, and it was taken. So I added the extra S on there. That's why it's misspelled, obviously.
Okay. Oh man, Altazir, was that the assassin from the original one, or Altair?
Altair, yeah, I think
Altair,
you're right.
yes. Yeah, I will admit I was a huge fan of the series, but
Oh yeah.
I have not played any of the recent installments. I stopped after whatever came out after Black Flag. It was in England. I think it was in the Victorian area.
I think I know what you're. Yeah, I kind of lost track, kind of like the Call of
Yeah,
Duties.
I just can't remember the name of it. All right, so your name comes from the first Assassin's Creed, and how long have you been playing World of
Oof,
Warcraft?
that. I mean, when did Wrath come out? So whatever year that was, maybe like a year before that. I know I had
So,
been playing for a year before that.
so you started playing at the end of the Crusade.
Yeah, middle end in addition.
Okay.
And like you alluded to before, I do play a lot of different characters, but something you might not know, or some people might. I've always mained Damascus. He's always been like my number one. Like I know some people like alt change or main change. They're like, oh, I got tired of mage, or I don't want to do this no more. But I
Mm-hmm.
know, and I know you're one of the few too. I believe that's always been your paladin, right?
Yes. Once I started playing Zeldoris, that's always been my main. I always like to uh, be in the front, be tanking. I
Hmm.
have, 1,000 other characters, but they're all a means to an end.
Yeah,
Uh, like for me, all of the alternative characters I have are there primarily for crafting, so that I have access to every craft in the game.
that was the idea for me in the start. But I really like fell in love with healing. I loved healing, so that's the first thing I had ever done was make a class of everything that can heal. And then I'm like, well, I'm this far. Might as well just make a class of everything.
Okay.
So I know how every class functions in some form or the other.
So, if you have a love and desire for healing, what drew you to the hunter to be your primary?
Well, like I said, it's just he's the number one. I can't see me not maining him.
Okay. And I believe you've been in the guild since the Battle for Azeroth, is that correct?
No, I think Legion,
Okay.
like the tail end of Legion.
Were you there for the Entourage raid?
Yeah, I think you guys were like, if I remember right, you guys were clearing in Taurus, and I came back from a break, and uh, I came back, and my mod police dudes were with you guys, so I was like, well, whatever. So I kind of just came in with them on the tail end, and then they split, and I pretty much just stayed because I like you guys. Oh, who am I
Well,
kidding? I love you guys.
hmm, every now and then. I mean, the last time I logged on, I saw that yet again a certain shaman had disappeared, only to be reinvited back. But I believe the absorption of Mog Police was during Battle for Azeroth. That's when we went for
Oh,
the Battle for Dazar'alor raid for Mythic.
I know 100% that I raided with you guys in Legion. Like I said, the tail end. Somebody there knew you or something, and I maybe tagged along for a raid.
Okay.
Or you know what? Maybe I healed for you guys because I think you guys. Do you remember Elvis? That was my priest before, and you guys kept calling me Elvis. I'm like, oh, it's weird because I'm not. That was just my alt. That might have been what it was.
Well, me calling you out is familiar.
Either way, we could just say the beginning of BFA.
Okay. Well, I mean, either way, you're here.
Yeah,
We appreciate you, and she who will not be named. We love
but
her,
Thunderclash.
wherever she is. Uh, so how many guilds were you in prior? Mod Police was one, but there was also, is it Legends or Legion?
Oh man,
Legends
the
Reborn.
Legends Reborn. Yeah.
Legends Reborn.
So the Legends Reborn were the very first guild I ever stepped into in this game when I came here to the server or started playing whatever. And I've been in every guild I feel like this server has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was really like server famous, whatever quote unquote. It sounds silly to say that. Back when everything was server locked, I had a reputation for being a huge troll. I know you get onto me for that, but it, I was just troll chain chat all the time, and I was known for that. And then I remember like when in Wrath of the Lich King was out. You remember what is it? The Vault of Archivon raids?
Yes, in Wintergrasp.
Yeah, in Wintergrass. So like whenever you would win it, everybody would sign up, and then they would do that, for loot or whatever. It's funny because I was such a trash talker, and people just assumed that I was just like just a shit hunter. And then I would, go in the vault and just like destroy every top DPS on everybody's meters and be all proud. And so, well, maybe this guy's not so shitty. So then I kind of try to calm down with that and try to just be good. And I used to pug a lot, like lead a lot of like pug raids and get people through Nax and back when GDKPs were cool.
We never did a gold system, but in the very beginning, I've I had very weird systems that I'm very glad I went away from. I was a very terrible leader back in the. I mean, I don't think I've evolved too much these days, but you guys are still here for some reason. Honestly, I think all of you in the guild are just here to mess with me.
We're
I think that's what gets you
sadomasochists.
by. Yeah. But we appreciate that you guys are here, and Special love and shout out to Animaker. How you doing? And thank you. So, do you remember what guild you were in, if any, back in the Lich King days?
Um, I was in Pango Honoratus, Malleus Maleficarum, and Aftermath. So Aftermath is where I ended up for a long time. Um, whenever what really got me because I my this is a funny story. My buddy who got me into the game, well, few of the two that were like working on me. One of
Mm-hmm.
them was like a PvP oriented. So when I was in the character creation thing, and I was like, all right, man. So what should I do? What should I make? Because I don't know. What do you like to play? Just read the descriptions. I was like, well, just tell me. You've been playing for a while. What class does like nobody play? Like, what's the least play class? This asshole told me Hunter. It's like the most played class, and I believed him. Uh, so because I like to do something different out of the norm. Be like maybe that's why I like healing because not everybody likes to heal. It's
Right.
kind of like a secondary role. I mean,
Yeah,
and
I'm
tanking.
always very grateful for any that are willing to do that job, good or bad,
Yeah,
because
but
it's a thankless job. The
it
most
really
thankless
is.
job.
It really is. And there's a lot of. I think honestly, it's harder to heal than to DPS. Really,
Well,
but
yeah, because if you lose a damage dealer, oh well, you still have however many others. You lose a healer, things start to fall behind.
yeah. And then there's some healers that the way they're set up, they just look better on paper. So they have all this like over healing done, and they're like, oh, I'm like 16 trillion healing, and then the one who's actually maybe more skillful, but doesn't have like a trillion over healing, but nobody looks at deep into the logs. They just see, oh yeah, that guy got like a gold purse, cool. But yeah.
Well, the problem is that with the Warcraft log system, the parsing system, it just looks at your damage. So a
Hmm.
healer that gets gold, epic, or purple, whatever,
Hmm.
they they're parsed based on their damage. There is no way to actually see healing. Same thing with tanks. Tanks aren't graded on their survivability or how much damage they avoided, mitigated, or positioning. All these factors, you know, it's just how much damage did you do.
No,
You,
Warcraft logs takes care or does it by healing, but you're right about the tanks. Uh, but again, it's just raw output healing. Even though they do keep track of all the other stats like over healing and stuff,
well, they
and
keep
then
track of it, but I'm pretty sure the parses, the purple and whatever, that's all based on the damage that you've done that fight.
no, what's happening is, and I think I know what you're talking about. If you looked at damage first, and then you're like, well, let's look at healing, and you switch it over to healers only, it'll still be stuck on damage. You have to go back again and like redo the whole filter system to do only healing.
I have to look at that sometime. I mean, again, I rarely ever bother my healers unless the player themselves are standing and things they shouldn't or not doing a mechanic. I mean, the healing numbers, that's, well, the numbers period, I always try to look at it as a last resort because we're all trying to make an effort. Uh,
I get it.
so, what happened with your previous skills, Pango, Mog, and others that made you want to keep looking? Like, what was
Well,
the journey to come here?
um, a lot of times it's just I just didn't feel like I fit like completely. Like the legends were real cool, for a time being. But it's like you got to match up a lot of things. So it's like, yeah, they're cool people, but they don't rate at a high level. And they don't advertise that. They're laid back, casual guild. That's kind of what they're all about. And then you go to these like harder core guilds, but then you don't like the people, and that's what I kept running into. Like either I didn't like the people there because they were quiet, or they're already into their little cliques, or the progression wasn't what I was satisfied with. Either were too low or too high. You
Okay.
know, by too high, I mean like they just want to raid 4 times a week and just like grind it out, and it's so serious. And I'm not. That's not me.
No, it's not for everybody. I mean, it would be nice if we could finish Mythic in like 4 nights and be like, all right, we're done. But sadly, not the case. But we'll get there. We're since we have our future guild leader, Danger Sparkle, tanking. She will get to Mythic Sylvanas, and then we'll get to retire.
That's what we should put as her guild
There you go.
master interim.
There you go. And it as long as we have to word it so that it says pretty there, so that she
Oh,
still stays. There you go. I mean, I think her guild. What does her guild note say now? Call me pretty or I'm quitting.
yeah. It was a joke because she was like, I was telling her, join the guild, join the guild. She was like, I'm only gonna join if somebody calls me pretty at least once a day. I'm like, done deal.
Yeah, well, she has a huge fan base. And speaking of people with huge fan bases, how is the lovely, amazing Mrs. that again is too busy, streaming for the world to join you here today?
She's amazing and busy. She's got things to do.
She's educating everybody on how to play Diablo.
I guess she's got the lull bug got her the lulling content, which is insane, man. It's going to be 8 months.
Yeah, I will. Diablo is a game that I tried to get into, and I had the misfortune and fortune, when you look at it from a different point of view, that I played the original version of Diablo 3 before they did a complete overhaul, and it was absolutely brutal.
Mm.
And I could never finish the final difficulty, and it actually annoyed me to no end. And the only way to get better gear is either to be extremely lucky or to pay real world money for gear, back when that was actually an option.
I remember that you could put stuff on the auction house and sell it. You could sell it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I I think I put so many things up there I never got a penny. But I mean, it happens. I did what I could. I still enjoyed the game, don't get me wrong, but after a while it just took its toll on me. But power to her. I do enjoy watching her and everybody in the guild that streams when they stream at a time that I can actually watch. I still would love to join Zenuri for one of her streams, but by the time she streams, I'm in bed.
Uh,
Gotta love the time differences.
yeah.
So you've been you've been with us for a while. You've played different roles. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've seen you do everything but a tank.
I
I
tinker my DK. I have, but I don't usually bring them out. I have tanked for like
okay,
normal runs.
okay. I maybe we had already quit by then or took our break. I just
Yeah,
don't remember. I mean, I remember playing with your Death Knight, just not from a tanking perspective. So to go to some of them, you have Tesla the Shaman, Faithful the Priest.
mm,
Unfortunately, the Death Knight's name escapes me at the moment.
Javier.
Javier, okay. Uh, just to cover it really quickly, where do those names come from? I mean, Tesla, we can pretty much guess that one.
Yeah. Well, what I used to do is think of cool names that I really liked, and I used to open tickets and get the names. That's how I got Hate, Prodigy, and Cervantes. And then they stopped doing that. They stopped allowing you to open tickets. So now what they do is there's so many weeks before a new expansion. Not a lot of people know this. I don't even think they announce it. They wipe the old names. If you haven't been active for like 2 expansions, um, any name that you have on your account gives is up for grabs.
Okay,
Um, so that's what I do. I just wait for them. So a lot of these names don't even have any real meaning to me except they sound cool, like hate. It's really edgy. And then mm, my favorite is Prodigy the Mage. But Javier is actually my dad's name, so I actually named him that. Um, Faithful used to be Elvis, but I changed it to a female, so I thought
Okay.
I just chose a priesty sounding name.
Okay. So the only name besides your father, the only name that has like real meaning to it was your, or rather, not meaning, but a backstory to it was Damasscus. But
Hmm.
everything else was just, okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, sounds cool kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. I don't remember where half my names came from. I've come up with some really weird ones. So, have you ever considered joining the illustrious Princess Zazobay of Zazelberg on her streams?
um, no, no. I mean, she let her do her own thing. Really, she uh, she likes to do a lot of things at a different pace than me. Like
Okay.
she played. Oh man, I can't remember that game now. It was like a single player game, or not a
You talking
single
about,
player game.
well, the last game I saw her playing before Diablo was Outrider.
Yeah, Outrider,
Okay.
and I know I'm more like, and she hates it about me, but like I'm more like, let's get it done, and I'm gonna kill everything really fast, and then she's like, okay. Well, she likes to just go at a smooth pace, so sometimes she doesn't like to keep up or try to keep up with me or whatever. But I
Okay.
mean, when I do start streaming, I mean, I wouldn't mind co-streaming with her. I guess it wouldn't if she's up for it. I don't see why she wouldn't.
All right. Well, yeah, I look forward to seeing the two of you just have at it and have fun. I I always enjoy when there's groups of people because as they're doing what they're doing, something comes up and they just bounce off of each other, which is why I think groups like well, the only one that comes to mind right now is Game Grumps, and then
Hmm.
uh there's a group that my friend told me about. I just the name is losing me right now, but anyway, groups that play together, stream together, and all that. They make the experience that much more because again, you have all this input, and
Yeah.
yeah, really hope I can partner with somebody one day to just
See,
make it fun, more
see,
fun.
and I had that idea too, and I had talked to a different friend of mine who streams a lot, has a pretty decent following, because I wanted to do that with Devil Cog or which is
Okay.
Danger's boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
because he and I have been like literally best friends since like school days, high school, and of course we've been around each other so much, and like you said, we could riff and all that. And I told somebody about that, and they're like, it's good and everything, and it's good funny content, but and this next part is something you could probably attest to. What if that person's not around, and now you've relied on them so much? Like if you try to do something by yourself, you're not like at 100%. So it's better to kind of establish it on your own first, and then maybe bring them in occasionally or whatever, instead of having to like you guys rely on each other.
Well, I
Cause
think it
also,
depends on how how it was established. Like if you
hmm
start as a group,
oh
then
yeah,
yeah. Like for example, since you mentioned the future guild leader, I do my own stream, Danger Sparkle does hers, and if we ever did a collaboration thing, it would be amazing, but once that's done, she has hers, I have mine.
okay.
So, but again, every situation is different. So, and a shout out to Devil Cog wherever you are.
I don't
So,
know.
other,
Go ahead.
no, finish your thought.
I don't know if this is how I'm not like super up on stream stuff, but if it's possible or how hard it would be, I think that would be cool that everybody that does stream in the raid to have like a all streamers night and just like broadcast everybody that streams, have everybody on their little own box, little
It is possible. There is a way to do that. I don't know if everybody will be up for it, but I assume once the patch gets here in 7 years,
2029.
that yeah, that all of us will be streaming the raid, I'm sure. So as so for other games, or let's rewind a little bit. You there's other games that you play during the break that we're on right now.
Hmm.
You play. I mean, the list is big. You got Destiny, the Call of Duties, Fortnite, Minecraft, and probably more. Maybe even some of the games that Zazzle plays. And shout out to Zazzle Bay, by the way. A link to her illustrious channel will be in the description once this is uploaded. Now, you also, and this is definitely a subject that hits home for me, which I'll explain in a moment, is that you have an autistic son that you play games with.
Hmm.
Now, you obviously you've been a parent of an autistic child for longer than I have, as mine is half the age of yours. Mine is 5.
Yeah,
So,
he just turned 11.
congratulations and happy birthday to him. Hopefully, y'all should do like a birthday stream for him or something. Now, the games that you play with him have uh have the distinct flair to it that it is a competitive scene. Call of Duties
Hmm.
are an incredibly is a competitive an extremely competitive game. Fortnite, same thing, can be very competitive. Now, how do you handle playing with your son, who obviously you want to help and not be against, in these potentially toxic and aggressive environments?
Yeah, and and I'll say too, especially lately ish, like, he's kind of, because he's like I said, he just turned 11. He's kind of getting to that preteen stage where it's not as cool to hang out with dad, or as it used to be, type thing. But which they always come back around anyway, so I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm.
But so I haven't played a lot with him as much as I have used to, but I did address that issue, and one of the rules before were no headsets, like absolutely no headsets. Like I don't want people talking trash to him because he's obviously younger than most people probably,
Mm-hmm.
and even if he's not, I just I don't want him exposed to that and make him feel bad because he's not like the best, and he already gets really very anxious and or quick to be upset when he loses because he hates losing. So a lot of things what we did were like offline stuff or bots. Overwatch was good for that because they have a thing where you can play against bots. Fortnite has like a free for all mode or like a for play mode or whatever, where you
Okay.
can just go in and just do shoot stuff and there's not really people there.
I didn't know
Um,
you could do that with Fortnite.
yeah, you could. There's like a creative mode where you can build stuff, or there's one where you just fight against bots as well. So that's what we used to tend to do a lot before. Um, is just bots or the offline mode. But I've noticed he does try to dip his toe in, and I'll try to be there next to him. And I guess nobody likes to be like coached or told what to do. I guess I know Nikki's like that. She hates it. I'm like, hey, press that button, kill that guy. She's like, shut up, like get out of here. And he's kind of like that too. I'm like, but I just try to tell him, like don't get agitated off of one kill. The guy. Some people are always going to be better than you. Don't ruin your whole game because and throw the controller down because man, that guy killed me and I should have killed him. I try to tell him, just be a little more patient. Laugh at it. Laugh at the fact that somebody killed you, and even if it was crap. That's what I do when I'm playing a shooter and I go in and I shoot the guy with a shotgun like point blank, and somehow
Mm-hmm.
and then he turns around and kills me. I'm like, what? Okay, I just start laughing. It's like that's great. That's just yeah, make a joke or something. But
Do,
yeah,
do
I
you
just try to.
feel that example is softening him up to that idea? Do you think he's actually uh leading by that example.
I, I I do think that sometimes because I when I notice him starting to get a little uppity, I mean just come on man, just breathe, take it easy. I'll like, remind him. He'll be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like just like kind of like remember his training, quote unquote. But yeah,
Well, I look forward to getting to that point with my kid. I could see her. I could see her being the Smash controller type,
oh
considering how
yeah.
many things she breaks around the house as it is.
Did Have you played any like even like board games or anything with her? Like I don't
Mm.
know if she's that far.
Well, the problem is that I could probably explain the rules of a game very simply. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure that anything involving numbers, uh, like movement, like if I say, okay, uh, throw a die or flip a card or something, and there'll be a number on it, and you have to do an action required by that number, like press a button 3 times or move forward 3 spaces. I'm pretty sure she can handle that. Her biggest problem right now is she doesn't understand the concept of turns.
Uh,
We're trying. We're really trying to show her that. Like we have, I don't know what the game is called, but imagine a pirate ship,
mhm.
and there's like these little penguin figures, and the ship is on a balance beam, and the point of the game is to keep putting penguins on the ship until it eventually tips over. So the game is I place one, you place one, and you take turns like that. She still doesn't get the concept of turns, and she wants to put the penguins where she wants to. She knows that when it tips over and the piece falls, that you start over. She got that concept, but she still doesn't get the okay, now it's your turn, now it's my turn thing. And we're trying with other games like a match game. We have a cards to match with, and we're trying to teach her, okay, you flip a card, I do, and it's a work in progress. It's
do you Have you tried, or do you do it with more than two, or is it always two, like a pair of people? Like, do you, her mom, and her? You see what I'm saying? Like, so she's waiting double, so she sees the
no, it's
dunk.
always one on one. It's always one on one. Like I'll play the game with her, her mother will play the game with her therapist will play the game
Mm,
with her. Um, the penguin thing that I was talking about with the pirate ship with the penguins, we did try that with all three of us, and she just always wanted it to be her turn, no matter
okay,
what.
okay.
So and we were trying like, okay, now it's mommy's turn, now it's daddy's turn, but no, it's always her turn.
I mean, she is a girl. That's how most girls think, anyway.
Hmm.
Even grown up ones.
Well, we'll see what we'll see how she turns out, but obviously we love our kids.
We
That's
do.
just the way it is.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up since we're here, we I really wanted, like, since it was like the break and nothing really to do raid wise.
Hmm.
Uh, I was like, I really want to get that spider mount for the PvP, and
Oh yeah, how's your
so
progress been doing with that?
I got it.
Oh,
I
congratulations.
got, yeah. They dropped the rating really far. I think it went from like 1,400 down to 1,000. So like, they're pretty much just giving it away. But in the process of that, I ended up becoming really like strong with my disc priest and getting like 1,700 in RBGs and 1,800 in my 2v2s. So
Congratulations.
if anybody needs a disc priest the next season, I got you.
There you go. So we do have a viewer question. What is your favorite food and drink?
Mm, Probably, besides obviously tequila because I'm Mexican. Uh, I love tea and lemonade, like the Arnold Palmer. It's my favorite drink.
Okay. Yeah, the first time I heard about that was I want to say 7 years ago, and
Really?
I had never heard of that concept, and I was like, I knew who Arnold Palmer was, but I didn't know that
Mhm.
that became synonymous with him. So tequila is your poison of choice.
Yes. I
Okay.
don't know why people are always like, it makes me violent.
Every everybody takes alcohol differently. Like me, I can't stand beer. But if I'm playing pool, then I like to have a bottle of Heineken.
Heineken's good. My
I don't know
favorite
why.
beer. Have you ever had, probably not, Stella Artois?
No.
It's
I've had.
an easy beer.
Hmm. I don't know. I just like alcohol. I like to have that big shot and then boom. Okay, I'm done.
Hmm.
I don't know why. The only time I like a smooth drink is those fruity drinks that
Hmm.
it doesn't taste like you're drinking liquor, but then eventually it starts to hit you and like, yeah, I'll take some more of that. And of course, every Latino likes sangria.
Hmm.
I mean,
See,
that goes without question.
the older I get, like when I was younger, I only drink beer, but now I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you guys judge me for drinking. I love margaritas. I love all that stuff, all the fruity bull crap. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if it tastes good, it tastes good. As far as I'm
exactly.
concerned. So in the future, Zazobe, I will definitely hit you up so you can, if you're willing to show me how to do that. I would love to know because that I think would be a fun addition to the show. Because usually I edit out this part for because it's usually a long break on every stream I've done. I'm just sitting here staring at the screen for like a few minutes, like I wonder if anybody's gonna ask anything, and so I just cut the whole thing out. But just to have the chat on the stream so that I can record it for YouTube, I think that would be amazing. You have uh so you've played these games, these online games with your son, and
Hmm.
you've done it in a way that you can allow him to play, have fun, learn without too much exposure to the toxicity of
Yeah.
the internet. Now, have the three of you with Zazobe also joining you in any of these escapades?
Well, no, because like I said, lately he's just been in just like that stage where he just wants to do stuff by himself, and he has had a microphone lately, and that has kind of caused some problems. So I don't like if he is on it. I try to be there with him because he'll try to like emulate people or talk trash back to them, and I'm like, you need to be careful what you're saying. But yeah, he doesn't really like to do things with us or me in particular lately. I think he's a little bit too grown for his britches, as they say.
Okay.
But yeah, but I'm sure there's a future where we could all get a game where we could play together, like those Mario Party games or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I believe it is about that time. Our guest today is the Hunter Damascus, also the Healer Tesla, Faithful, the Death Knight Javier, and I'm pretty sure some others that I'm just not remembering at the time. I do appreciate your willingness to do this and your time. I hope I hope you had fun. I hope everybody learned a little bit about you. And yeah, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
No problem. Thank you.
So everybody, that was Damascus. I am your host, the Bronx Paladin. I look forward to continuing to entertain you with our guests every week. Until the next time.